do 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 do. Oh, do 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 do. I'm so sorry. I legitimately had not seen anything like that in a game before. And I can't say that about any feature in a game in years, in a really long time. So I'd had like a little hint that this existed, but I didn't know to what extent. And we'll kind of go through. I need to show it to you before we go in any more depth about it. Like, just come look at this real quick. You can see just by this is cool, right? And this over here is regular camera settings. And this over here is like 40 plus poses. This right here is something I have never in my life seen in a game. And you can see reset cameras, set camera, and that's where you click when you're on that and it sets up a camera in that moment, okay? And then this is the count of cameras. You can have up to 20. And then roll is like where the camera rolls into the next camera and you set up these cameras wherever you want. And these are like the features that can create cinematics with those cameras. And then field of view, if you change that, it'll change obviously the depth of the view, making it wider or narrower. Speed is from camera to camera, the speed. Curvature, I realized later on, I didn't realize like at the very beginning, but it curves the entire cinematic camera arc between all of the cameras from what I can tell. If anybody sees it differently, let me know. But when I was playing with it, it looked like it did the curve for all of the cameras connected. And then you have play sequence, which is exactly what it sounds like. It plays the sequence from camera to camera and you create like this little mini movie. And I mean, look at this. I was blown away. Absolutely blown away. Okay, hold on. Let's see. This is me kind of setting it up at the time. And I was just messing with all the settings. You can see me messing with the, I mean, look at that. Like it just feels like behind the scenes. And my chat and I realized that is seemingly what it is. Look at the menus of these games for, by the way, I didn't even say, this is for Tomb Raider 4-6 Remastered. I got gifted my copy, but I don't just talk excitedly about games just because I got gifted a copy. There have been games that I've not created any content on because I was gifted a copy and I was not that excited about it. I only do this when I actually have something exciting to talk about. But again, thank you to all the people involved who gave me this copy of the game. Couldn't be more excited. I know we've had one Tomb Raider video that did okay by YouTube standards, great for me. And I've played all of the Tomb Raider games at least a little bit last year. And so I get really passionate about doing like marathons, and Tomb Raider is one of those things where I'm making a lot of different content for here and on my Gaming Ambiance channel. So I'm just having a lot of fun with it. And I'm really grateful to have this because yeah, I keep a pretty tight budget trying to make all this content. So if you like it, make sure to like and subscribe. It could help me a lot. But anyway, so we realized in the menus of Last Revelation and Chronicles specifically, and some of the like cutscenes, it seems, you can see the cinematic camera movements and it looks like the cinematic camera movements we make here. So we think, our theory is that this is what they built some of their systems on, and then they just made it so that we have access to it. There's our mansion. Yo, they really did, Dougie. You're right. Uh-oh. Makes me want to watch the show again. I'm not even usually into the animated stuff as much, but I did like the show. So maybe, which is really cool. So it's developer tools that we got access to. And I think the only time this has ever been in a game was in developer mode. Someone did some digging and said that GTA 5 has a developer mode where this exists, but I've never seen it in like the photo mode menu. I've never seen it, period, but definitely never in a photo mode menu because I've spent a lot of time in photo mode in mini games. This is the first time I've seen it. We have how many massive AAA games with beautiful scenery and beautiful aesthetic, beautiful ambiance, and never once had access to this type of developer tool where I mean, look at this. We've never once had access to something like this that I can think of. If you know of one, throw it in the comments below. But look at this. You can just make like these fun little mini movies. This was the first one I think I did. I'm a movie maker. Chat, I make movies. Am I the only one who thinks this is incredible? Because I need this in every game. And I would have never in my life expected in Tomb Raider, again, like platformy, puzzly, very old games that they were bringing life into. As somebody who very recently, like last week, tried to play Angel of Darkness for an ambiance video and had the worst time because I was having to play it in GOG, and I've never used GOG in my life until Tomb Raider because I tried it on Steam and the Steam copies wouldn't even work for these games. 4 through 6 was my struggle for all of these. So when I did my series playthrough last year, I used the 1 through 3 remaster, mostly for the advantage for the user. Especially as a streamer, I prefer to be able to record stuff with a capture card, right? And have my gameplay separate like this. We're looking at my gameplay right now, and we wouldn't be able to do that without me talking on top of it from my stream if it weren't for me being able to record separately on my capture card. So it's a big advantage to be able to use my console. It also, you know, frees up some of my computer resources as I'm doing things. It just widens my ability to do things as a creator because I knew that I would want to show you guys this. I also prefer controller gaming. Then of course, getting to have like a hub, a user interface, like all of these are advantages. So having that hub where I can jump between all 3 games and you can go and you can kind of see some of the differences, or if you just are like, I want to go play one of the other games now, or having a hub, I think is going to become a little bit more popular in games again. I personally really enjoy it, and I'm glad when remasters do that. 1 through 3 did that. The Ezio trilogy did that. But on top of that, obviously there's the graphic differences. It does the same thing as 1 through 3. If you don't know, all you do is press, you know, one button and it changes from the new to the old and the old to the new. I literally did it while I was doing some of these mini movies. I would switch in between, or I would do recordings of both, which was really cool. And you can do this in both of the first games. You cannot do it in Angel of Darkness. And there were people who were, I think, were upset with this, and that's fair. And so I would have to kind of look at the marketing to see how much of that said it was going to be in all 3. I didn't have any expectations. So this was just fully freaking exciting to me, right? So if you did have expectations and then you went into Angel of Darkness and you said, oh, because I was disappointed. I was like, oh no, it's not in that one, because I'd already made an ambiance video in that and I was planning like really cool things. I haven't made any ambiance videos in the others. So for me, that was going to be my first try, was Angel of Darkness, to make a video with some of the cinematics flair on top of it. So I'm going to have to kind of plan that with a video, which I think it would have been easier to do it on a video I've already done, if that makes sense. I was disappointed, but on top of that, like, I just really wanted to be able to do that in the apartment, in the club, and like I just had ideas for all through the Paris streets, you know? I can see where people and why people would be disappointed. And I assume it's because Angel of Darkness was built on a different engine. It's definitely far more updated. If you're looking at the graphic differences, obviously huge differences in the first 2, 4 and 5. And those differences, I would say in 4 it was drastic, but sometimes I prefer that old style a little bit and that simplicity. It's not so much detail that it becomes more difficult to find things. And that's where you see stuff that like flashes or glows or looks different colors or looks slightly less realistic than the rest of the stuff. You saw it because it was there, and it was just kind of because everything was kind of unrealistic together, and you can't have that in a realistic game with a ton of detail. It's just very specific to that era of poorer graphics. It's not even like they were good at the time, right? This was 1999. So sometimes I still prefer that old style. So I'm glad I can go back easily and see that. But I will say in Chronicles, I very much preferred the look of the new. I mean, look at that cafe. Beautiful, right? And the sky. Look at that. Look at that. Look at that. A crazy difference. All right. So I kept it on the new. But I love that we can go back to the old. I get really antsy about deleting old and the opportunity of patching out games and stuff. I don't like the potential of that. So I like that we can go back. I think that keeping the old and also bringing in new is really powerful. They actually put in so much detail in here too. Look at that. Crazy how much detail they put in this. In Chronicles, I for sure wanted to keep the new graphics at all times. In Angel of Darkness, you didn't see as much in the gameplay, but the character models looked significantly different. Yeah, look at that. Isn't that cool? Huge difference. Let me take you over to the apartment too. Yeah, this is definitely where I realized. Check this out. Look at that. That's a huge difference. Oh, you can hear me taking a screenshot. Huge difference. So yeah, you could see it in the facial animations. There were just sometimes in the details, words, a few instances where in Angel of Darkness, you definitely had a giant difference and leap in graphics, but it was less so in a lot of ways too. Oh, the paintings too was a tremendous difference. Oh yeah, there. I think I have some right there. Yeah, look at the painting in the background. Did you see that?
Mademoiselle Carvier, I have just come from Venice.
That's a crazy difference. So paintings, words, and people were very updated, but the rest of it I didn't really notice all that much, to be honest. It looked pretty similar. I think at the beginning I did some testing. Let's see. And I couldn't even tell the difference other than words, and that's how I knew. Yeah, see right there? So if you look at Martin Mellet, you can really tell up there. So watch right here. Right there. See? So that's where you can see the most difference. You couldn't even barely see it on her clothes and everything else. Like, there is some detail. And of course, depending on where you are in the lighting as well, it'll change. But it wasn't as significant as the other two. Oh yeah, so yeah, the cutscene here, it was still the same. So they didn't update all of the cutscenes, but they did in some of the cinematic stuff. Look at that.
This place gives me the creeps.
That's a huge difference, dude. Hold on, I'm in the way. Oh my gosh, let me get myself out of the way real quick. You guys gotta see this. Look at this, look at this. Look at this guy.
After you.
That's crazy, dude. That's such a crazy difference. Absolutely blown away by that. So yeah, again, words and faces you notice the most, but I mean, this is a stark difference. Just the polygons. But yeah, I mainly wanted to show off this really insane cinematic camera. Out of all the games in the world, I would not have expected Tomb Raider 4-6, a 1999 game remaster, to have this cool feature. I need all games to start implementing this, like photo mode has been implemented. It's just insane. It's insane. I've never seen anything like it. If you have, let me know in the comments below. If you were expecting it and you were disappointed about it not being an Angel of Darkness, let me know. And if you were as excited as me, also let me know. This is super cool. If you didn't know this existed at all until this video, thank you so much for watching. I am MADkurious. I make gaming videos about Tomb Raider, Assassin's Creed, Last of Us, and all sorts of other games that I love. If you liked this video, make sure to like and subscribe, and I will see you in the next one.